Welcome to the Sliver and Bite podcast, where we explore everything food, how to cook it, and even how to grow it. Today we're talking Thai red curry paste, or more formally known as Prick Kang Phet, which translates to prick, chili, kang, curry, phet, hot or spicy, but also can go by Prick Gang Nang. And the Nang is red. But unless you're going to a full-on Thai restaurant in Thailand, you probably don't need to worry about it. But it's always interesting to know. So, the when, where, and why. So when, originally created in the 13th century. Now, they used to use Prek Thai, which means pepper. Because before then, they didn't have the influence of the chili pepper, which came along in the 16th century and was introduced to Thailand by the Portuguese. And the reason as to why the chili peppers didn't come along until the 16th century, it was only the century before where the ships were actually being made to be able to transport anything. And as for why, put simply, why not? However, it was such a universal paste to use in many dishes, not just the Thai curries. Speaking about the what, where, and why, for anything that is created this far back is very difficult to pinpoint. We're so fortunate that they've evolved so much over time that we've got the more refined version of what it was back then. But particularly at this time, the 12th and 13th centuries, there was such an explosion of the sharing of spices, knowledge, and techniques purely because the vessels that they were making were so much easier to maneuver around the world. Let's speak about the 13th century red curry paste. The ingredients back then were lemongrass, fish sauce, peppercorns, and tamarind. The peppercorns were prior to the 16th century. They ruled the kitchen throughout the land. They were accessible. I certainly am surprised that the more modern take on the Thai curry pastes doesn't feature more pepper, but I guess it was nudged out by the introduction to the chili pepper. Looking back, it was described as a coarse paste, which obviously is a sign of the times. Back then they would have been using a mortar and pestle, and only a mortar and pestle, whereas these days we get to finish it off with a stick blender. And if you're making enough, you can use a regular blender or food processor. The Sliver and Bite recipe calls for a mixture of dried and fresh chilies. I use 50 grams, and that creates 300 grams worth of the paste. When you put that into a Thai red curry, it's dinner for approximately 8 to 10 people, which is great for a large family or a small family with the opportunity to have leftovers for lunch or dinner. The rest of the ingredients are garlic, shallots, galangal, not ginger, lemongrass, shrimp paste, kaffir lime leaves, or you can use lime peel, the coriander root, or you can actually use the stalks, salt, and white pepper. Now, of course, you are able to adjust this to your palate. A lot of people like to dial down the heat, and they will remove the seeds and the pith or placenta, which is the white bit inside the chili. And the pith or placenta is actually where the heat is. It's not in the red or green part of the chili, nor is it in the seeds. It's in that white lining. The ingredients in a Thai red curry paste are very deliberate, and they're all very well balanced and play off of each other. For instance, the lemongrass speaks for itself. It provides a burst of freshness. The shrimp paste gives it that umami taste and offers a rich, savoury flavour that lingers on the tongue. The kaffir lime leaves or the lime peel gives it that zest. The coriander root or stalks, again, gives it that earthy feel. Now, the galangal, you want to use that instead of ginger because the galangal is a more earthy, citrusy and pine-like flavour as opposed to the sharpness of the ginger. When you put ginger into something, you know it's got ginger in it. So you're definitely able to find the galangal at any good Asian greengrocer. Here in Australia, it is quite difficult to find the kaffir lime. So that's why I've gone for the lime leaves. They freeze incredibly well and they're great for a lot of Thai cooking. Now, when it comes to preparing your ingredients, you want to make it easy for yourself because you are going to be pounding the ingredients if you are using the traditional method, which is a mortar and pestle. So you want to dice it up quite finely, especially the more fibrous ingredients like your galangal and your lemongrass. Your chilies, the dry ones, they do tend to slip quite a bit. However, that's why you do move to your blender a little further on in the method just to make it easier for yourself. I was fortunate enough to get some chilies from my parents from their herb garden, so I had to dry them at 50 degrees Celsius in my dehydrator for about 4 days. So it does take quite a bit of effort. However, you can string them up and wait until they dry out naturally, or of course you can purchase them from any store. I do, however, like to dry my own chilies. It just gives me such a sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. When it comes to the use of either the stem or the root of the coriander / cilantro, I've done it both ways, and I must admit using the root did give it a much more earthy and there was a more distinct flavour. However, realistically, at the end of the day, and when you are diluting this into a curry, there isn't a massive taste difference. So it is definitely up to you. I did find that if you don't wash it thoroughly enough, it can be a little gritty. So once you have blitzed your ingredients and you've got the desired consistency and coarseness that you're after, you are able to use it straight away or leave it in the fridge for up to 4 to 5 days. Remember, you've got some shrimp paste in there, so you don't want that to go yucky and rancid. You can, however, freeze the chili paste. So you would just make it easy for yourself. Either put it into some ice trays or lay it out flat into a Ziploc bag, because then it's easy to either snap off or just put a ice cube of it into a small serving that you want to make for yourself a little later on. Now that we're at the tail end of the Thai red curry paste discussion, I'll give you a few tips. So firstly, ensure that you have a larger mortar and pestle, because the ingredients, especially when they're large, and actually even when they're in its paste form, they tend to slide up the side of the inside of the mortar. So you want to make sure that you've got enough space to work with. If you're drying your own chilies, you'll need at least 3 days in a dehydrator. If not, weeks hung, or of course, you can get them directly from the store. Now you want to use a mixture of dried and fresh chilies. The dried chilies, believe it or not, give it its colour. As to what chilies to use, if you want to go for a more authentic chili, you would go for the spur chili. However, Sonaro you would use for heat, and because there's a little more flesh on it, it gives you a lot more volume. And Thai red curry paste isn't just used in Thai red curries. You can also marinate meat, and you can also mix it into stir fries and noodle dishes just to add a little kick. And for my final tip, to reduce the heat, remove the seeds and the placenta. And that is the white part on the inside of the chili. That'll just take away a bit of the sting. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Sliver and Bite podcast. You can head to sliverandbite.com.au to check out this and so many other recipes. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. You can also head to YouTube and find me at Sliver and Bite TV, where you can find real-time cooking tutorials and cook along with me. And just remember, if I can cook it, you can cook it too.